Hello. I hope you didn't catch that. Hello, everybody. I hope JP and I just didn't hot mic ourselves then. That would have been bad.
Well,
Everybody, I've got JP with me today.
there you go.
So I'll introduce him formally in a minute. Stickman, you are first. Absolutely, you are today. Now, okay, it's Thursday today, isn't it? Yep. Hello, happy Thursday. Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time visiting, well, hello there. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you spending your valuable time at my tiny little corner of the internet. So we haven't talked about tattoos for a minute, so I thought, well, let's do it again. So I'm joined today by JP, John Paul, who some of you know from the chat and Kaz's channel, The Sniper, but did you also know that he is a tattoo artist?
There you go.
They might not have known that about you.
Yep.
I thought I'd better clarify. Hi, Simon. G'day, Joshua. Hello, Sanaj. That's Reese.
I don't know how to do this and this and this and this.
Just like I am. Just look at whichever. All right? You can see the chat over here,
Yep.
camera over there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you got it?
G'day, everyone.
So JP's going to join me today for some tattoo questions from the internet. Okay, are you ready for this?
Let's see what they got
Yeah.
for us.
It's a nice sleeve because I did it, Stickman. That's why. Okay, how does a tattoo artist practice?
Well,
It's on friends and family and loved ones
Yeah.
and very
Start out-
kind
yeah.
volunteers.
yeah, small black pieces
Yep.
on friends and volunteers. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And how do they practice? There's a lot of things to practice first before you practice putting a tattoo on someone's flesh. There's an awful lot of things to practice
Yeah.
to build up to that. So like drawing, outlines, distinguishing different bits of the tattoo, the technical parts of a machine. There's all sorts of stuff that you need to practice before you actually practice the zzz on people.
Just like any other apprenticeship, you don't just rock up on your first day and expect to build a house or strip an engine back in a car. It's the same with tattooing. You learn the basics and you expand your knowledge, and with that your art grows. So
Exactly. And it's people often run before they can walk, and they'll jump in on and do tattoos
Absolutely,
before
yeah.
they've learnt the things they probably needed to learn, little tricks of the trade before they get there.
Yep.
So drunkenly on his own legs, Stickman. Well, we've both tattooed ourselves.
yeah, both got our own
But
work on it.
never drunkenly and
Yeah.
not at home. So, g'day, Mr. Peppers. How are you? It's nice to see you here. Okay, is tattooing hard to learn? Is it hard to learn to become a tattoo artist?
Well, no, we always said you can train a monkey to do tattoos,
Yep.
but it's having a bit of self-discipline,
Yep.
both with your hygiene and
Yep.
your commitment to doing to good tattoos. Because anyone can sit there and draw shit on someone and charge them $50 for it, but you pay peanuts, you get a monkey to tattoo you. So
Yeah, exactly. You get what you pay for. But is it hard to learn to be a tattoo artist? Properly, yes. But probably the hardest part is actually getting your foot in the door,
yeah,
if we're being honest.
yeah,
If you're willing to put in a hard day's work and realise that it's not all sex, drugs and rock and roll, then and you're going to take it seriously and professionally, then it will take a lot less time than if you've got a really bad attitude or have it in your mind already that you know how to do this. So it's actually a pretty technical skill, isn't it, to learn?
Yeah.
So it can be hard. It depends on you, really. It's a bit the same as what Kaz says about joining the army.
yeah. It's also a trust thing with your employer. If you're not doing what you're told, then they're not going to let you, do the next step.
Yep.
And if they do, they're probably not caring anyway, and you probably should get a better studio to work from.
Yep.
But if
agree.
you play by the rules, you do what they ask you to do, you move on the next step, and so forth and so on. You might have apprentices that have been in studios for years just because they're dragging the chain.
Yeah, exactly. It's not always down to the studio owner,
Yeah.
is it? Okay, here's the next question. You're going to love this one. Can a tattoo artist work from home?
No?
No, not unless their home has a licensed studio that's been okayed by their health department. No. No.
Yep.
Because that's not a tattoo artist, that's a fraud.
Yep.
Because a tattoo artist would do it out of a professional setting. Okay, here's one. How long does a tattoo training program take, or how long does it take to become a tattoo artist?
Well, I suppose like my last answer, it's self-progression, you know.
It's different for everybody.
If you've got a good grasp of the basics,
Yep.
and you can, you know, draw in that knowledge, go for it. But
Yeah.
like I said, some people sit there and they dawdle and dwindle and end up being an apprentice for 7 years down the track. So
Yeah, exactly right. Brady's here. Simon Powell says, but to start with, you need a natural artistic talent. You can't train talent. Well, that's where tattooing's tricky, see. You can make a perfectly good tattoo flash artist out of someone who has very limited artistic abilities, because it's not like colouring in or joining the dots. It's like all of them joined together, but it can be done. Yeah. You don't need to have an awful lot of artistic ability. And in fact, it can even train you in artistic ability. I'd say the average length it takes, and should be the minimum, would be 3 years. Joshua Fawn's in a studio is generally, I think, what most people expect their tattoo apprenticeship to be, is about 3 years. And sometimes it can take longer, and of course sometimes it can take less time. It also depends on how much time you've got to give it to, because often tattoo apprenticeships aren't paid. So if you have to have another job and you can't be there as often, it's going to take you longer.
Yeah, the same as the work you get available. If you're in a busy studio where there's lots of people coming in, you've got more chance to practice, you're going to move on forward, as opposed to sitting in a studio where you got one artist who takes all the work. So
yeah, exactly. Kynan said, do you have to be artistic by nature, or can you learn that on the job? It is better to have some artistic skills. I'm not going to lie. It's even better if people go and study art and then think of becoming a tattoo artist and add that apprenticeship onto their education, or even study and apprentice at the same time. But that is very difficult. I've seen it done, but it requires a lot of extra commitment. But yeah, you do have to have some kind of, it helps you if you have some kind of artistic ability, particularly drawing. I would say that definitely helps.
It's because it's another medium. You've got sculpture, painting, tattoo.
Exactly.
It's just another medium. So
exactly. JP knows I hate just being called a tattoo artist, or sometimes people say visual artist and tattoo artist. And I think, no, I'm just a visual artist. Tattoo is just one of the mediums I use. You know, there's really no difference. Sanaj, which is Reese, says, my only art ability is on my computer, because most of the time I'm using the undo button. Yeah, that's true. In tattooing, there's no undo, okay? If you make a mistake, you better know how to fix it. But you shouldn't be making mistakes. By the time you're touching those needles to skin, even as an apprentice, the moment it touches that flesh, there should be very little risk of anything going wrong. You should already have the knowledge of what you're meant to be doing and how to do it. Okay, next question. Ready? What do I need to start tattooing to be a tattoo artist?
A shop to work out of.
A shop to work out of. That is the number one thing. But once you've got that, most apprentices get by with like two good machines, and then some pigments, and depending on what their studio supplies or what they have to supply themselves will depend on the other things they need. You know, the machines, tubes, needle bars, stuff like that. So that would be what I'd say. And but number one, a studio to work in. Okay, don't get that stuff preemptive of getting a tattoo apprenticeship, because they are like hen's teeth. Okay. Here's a tattoo question from the internet. How small can you make this?
Well, I can make it really small, but do you want to see it, what it is in 10 days or 10 years time?
Or do you just want to look like a blob? Yeah. That's up to you. The smaller tattoos get, the actual harder they are to perform. So it's like, sometimes people think, a big tattoo, that must be really difficult. No, it has its own challenges. But the smaller and more internal detail you want in a tattoo, the more difficult it'll get. And sometimes the higher the price will go, because it can take longer to do a very small, intricate thing, which probably isn't going to look that great anyway. Just bump it up 10%, 20%. It'll make a big difference to how people see it from a distance, right?
Absolutely.
So that's for your own good. We could just do it and take your money, but we do like to make sure you end up with a product you are happy with at the end. Lightfoot has said, hi Light, how would you know what you don't know to go to another studio to be trained properly? Oh, okay. I think I understand what you're saying. Almost all tattoo artists are self-taught to a degree from the artists they work under in a tattoo studio. So you really need to find artists in a studio that are going to share their information with you, or that you can pick the brains of, or that you can really watch and learn how they do it. So every artist is very, very different. So when you go from tattoo studio to tattoo studio, you can end up with a real inconsistency of education. But every tattoo artist I know has a magic book of everything they've ever learned written down. It's usually like an exercise book, ragged ears and that. And it's from every artist they've spoken to, and we that's how we learn. That's how we do it. So that's kind of what makes you into the artist you are at the end, because I've met an awful lot of tattoo artists, and every single one of them who's shared stuff with me has changed me into the artist that I am now. So every single tattoo artist is probably different, considering the influences they've got on them from their tattoo heritage. G'day, Daz. Okay, Simon Powell has asked, is a good transformer just as important as the tattoo machine?
It is.
Yes. People forget about the rest of it. They forget about the actual, the power source and the coils and the, the actual what the mechanical, technical side of tattooing is. But we can't forget, lest we blow a capacitor and scare everybody in the tattoo shop into thinking there's gunshots. Okay. Can you come down on the price?
What do you want me to leave out?
Yeah. Exactly. That's not a question tattoo artists like to hear. We price things. We're not just pulling numbers out of our head. Most tattoo artists that I know price gauged on how long a tattoo is going to take them to do. And there's so many variables in this question. Like, we used to get people ringing up the studio asking for a quote over the phone.
Yeah.
It can't always be done, because you're very small and my very small might be two totally different things. So you can't just say, oh, it's about the size of my hand, or it's about the size of my big toe, or things like that. We can give you a rough guesstimate sometimes, or at least tell you our hourly rate, but we can't do quotes without actually seeing you and the tattoo and having a chat about how big and what changes you might want to, Oh, see you, Joshua. Have a good day.
See ya.
Okay, here's Kynan. Did you plan on doing it, or was it more of a try and sort of fall into it? We've both got different stories to this. It's not something I'd ever thought about doing, tattooing. I'm not from that world. Remember, I'm a private schoolgirl, went to finishing school, was modelling. It was not something I'd really ever thought of. I hadn't even really been around tattooed people very much until I became an army wife. What do you think?
Yeah, it's because it is such a close community. A lot of the, it's sort of a generational thing, your kids become tattoo artists and that sort of stuff. So that's one of the reasons it's hard to get into. But there's, I forgot what the question was now.
About how did you plan to become a tattoo artist?
But sort of when I was growing up, it wasn't really a thing that I even thought about.
Yeah.
Until I was in the army, and I thought, I wouldn't mind doing that as a job. And then several years later, I was doing it. So
yeah, exactly. And you had to do an apprenticeship too. So and I'm not soft.
No.
Sometimes I'm like Gordon Ramsay. I try not to be, but it's important business. There is no undo button. Do you tattoo genitalia?
I haven't had the misfortune yet.
Yet. I like how you put that in. Yes, a lot of studios will say no, but I'd say yes, but I'm going to give you an additional cost there.
Yeah.
For sure. You know, same rules apply.
Whack a pimp price on it.
Pimp price, yeah. Exactly. Hi, Luna. Nice to see you here. Thanks for joining us. Simon Powell said, have they invented a cordless tattoo machine yet? I think they have, but I don't think it's very good. I haven't seen many reputable artists use it. However, we're pretty excited about rotary machines. Yeah. They're different than the old double coil. They're like I think a single coil machine.
It's just a little...
Yeah, and they've just got like in fact, you can even set up your old double coil tattoo machine heads to work with like a video plug.
Yeah.
So, but the rotary machines just have a video plug and it's just like using a pen. So... that's pretty exciting. That'd be the biggest change tattoo machines have made in the last 20 years, I think, was rotary machines.
I think the problem with a cordless variety is how much bulk you're going to have. They haven't got the technology, I think, to make it.
Because it needs a bit of grunt.
And that's right. You want have a bit of power, not be too heavy, and have something that could keep it constant, because as your battery slows down, if your machine slows down, then that's going to
exactly, heaps. You're going to get inconsistencies in the rate of the armature bar and everything. It's going to be terrible. That would be awful. Brady gets that all the time. He wants a $25,000 race engine with a 5K budget.
Yeah.
That's like every second tattoo customer.
Yeah.
I want a back piece, but I want it for $250. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Your favorite question: does it hurt?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Yep. And some plates hurts more than the other.
That's true. Exactly. Okay. A tattoo customer comes in and they say to you, "What should I get?"
You need to go away and think about what you should get.
Exactly. It's not. It's not us. We would be out of our jurisdiction and not doing you a solid if we influenced you in any way that wasn't from a professional point of view.
This is what normal advice for people when they aren't unsure, right? So what would you like to have? Where on your body would you like to have it? And what would you want it to look like when you're standing nude in front of the mirror? You know?
Exactly. And that's right.
And you go away, think about that, and then come back and speak to us.
Yeah, exactly. You can't think or wait on a tattoo too long. A lot of people get really impatient to get their tattoo, but you can't think on it too long. We always used to encourage people to really stop and think about it. We won't tattoo. We don't really do walk-ins, so we would stop and have a consultation with each client before we would tattoo them, just to even slow the process down for them, because we don't want to spend hours and hours drawing something that they've changed a million times. They should really have a pretty good idea of what they want the image to have, where they want it to go, how big they want it, everything like that before they come in, really. Come in and ask questions by all means, but just let the artist know that you're just not even sure yet. You're just exploring the process. Okay, Daz says, I've only got one tattoo in the middle of my chest done by a tattoo gun. It is a tattoo gun, though. Tattoo artists usually hate you calling their machines guns, by the way. But this is a tattoo gun, a mate built. It's nasty, but I love it.
Well, as long as you like your tattoo,
it's not our job to make anyone feel bad about their tattoos whatsoever. Not one bit. Watch Moon there saying, still planning out my next one, 10 years and counting. That itch never goes away.
Oh, yeah.
Does it? You don't ever go, that's enough.
Yeah. Start planning your next one.
Yeah, exactly. It never stops. It is never ending. Okay. All right. Simon Powell said, would you try and talk someone out of a tattoo, like a face tattoo? Somebody else said before, I think it was Kynan, said he couldn't imagine me yelling and being like Gordon Ramsay, because I actually used to be quite strict on my clients too, because that's our tattoo. You know, it's not, once it leaves that studio, it's up to you to look after it properly, and so that my work doesn't get ruined. So I think I've talked a lot of people out of tattoos in the way of saying, no, I won't do that. And then they would ask me why, and I would always have a good reason as to why. But, if someone's going to do something, they'll find someone to do it.
Yeah, no, that's right. And I've got no problem sending someone down the road to do something.
We used to send people down the road
that I won't do.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Yep.
So it's kind of an unwritten rule. You just send them around shop to shop and everyone can laugh.
Yeah.
Okay. Lightfoot said, oh no, I wouldn't know about that. Look, that we've done every symbol under the sun a million times over. Unless your tattoo is pretty fit, like this comes down to the people stopping you in the street wanting to show you their kanji.
Yeah.
And unless your tattoo's really big or really special or done by someone amazing and legendary, I'm just going to tell them we're not really that.
Yeah, it's just a tattoo.
We're not really that interested in it. I'm sure it's special to you.
Yeah.
But we've seen a lot of tattoos.
Yeah.
And we love admiring people's tattoos.
Yeah. If I see a nice tattoo, I'll say, hey,
we always
nice
do.
tattoo, where'd you get it?
Credit where credit's due, indeed.
Yeah.
And people who have great tattoos usually are very happy to stop and talk about tattoos.
Absolutely.
But if you want to try and show your tattoo to a tattoo artist, make sure it's half decent.
Yeah, you don't want to pull a Band-Aid off your elbow to show your doctor friend, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Kynan says, is there such a thing as an impossible tattoo? There's things you shouldn't do. Impossible, not really nowadays.
No. Only, like we were saying before, they want the Mona Lisa on a postage stamp.
And they want it yesterday, and they want it for $90.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. But, there's nothing that you can't tattoo nowadays. So.
Yeah. Okay, Daz has asked what's the correct term of use for a tattoo gun. Okay, we call them irons or a machine head. You'd know what I was talking about if I said a machine head, or even just machine.
Yep.
But I like iron. I use big, heavy tattoo machines. But tattoo machine is fine because it is that. It is a tattoo machine. It's not a gun. It's not shooting anything out.
Yeah.
So it's really just an engraving machine.
Yeah.
Edison patent. Okay. Simon Powell said he wants no regrets on his...
No regrets, yeah.
No regrets
Yeah.
on his forehead.
Yeah.
You will find someone to do that if you want to. Okay.
The problem is that they'll probably fuck it up and you'll end up with no regrets.
You end up with with it spelt right. Okay. Can I get tattooed when I'm drunk?
No.
No. What? And what's the reasons?
Well,
There's several.
One is just come back when you're sober, but your blood's thinner.
Yeah,
they
bleed more.
You don't
Drunk
sit
people
still.
bleed a lot.
You need to be able to sit
and
still.
we don't want to be dealing with it with your drunk self.
Yeah.
Okay, you come back when you're feeling better.
You got more chance of someone spewing.
Yeah, it's awful, fainting, mess to clean up.
Yeah.
It's not biomass.
No, we're limiting that.
No, exactly right. Yeah. Can I get it right now?
No.
I used to get asked this a lot. Yeah. People have this misconception that they can just walk into any tattoo studio and every artist is just hanging around waiting for someone to come. No, we get pretty busy. Yeah. And even if we're not tattooing, we're going to be doing something else. We'll be drawing up another customer's tattoo, or we'll be having consultations or something. So
making needles.
Exactly. There's a bazillion things that we might be doing. Okay. Why won't you tattoo that? Well, Karen... for whatever reason I've probably given you that I won't tattoo it. If it's not going to look good in the end, I'm not going to do it. That's for your own good, and my reputation's good. I might not do it just because you got a shitty attitude. Every tattoo artist reserves the right to be able to refuse you for any reason or not. It's a service. They're artisans. They don't have to work for you.
You go into any shop with a foul mood or the wrong opinion of yourself.
Exactly.
And they're going to not want to serve you or turn you out on your ear.
Exactly, because you have to remember, tattoo artists, you're commissioning them to create you a work of art. So it's just the same as any other sort of
absolutely
art. Daz is going to fix Simon up.
Oh, good on ya.
He's got a cattle branding on. Oh, you're going to do some branding. That's a
Yeah.
legitimate form of body modification.
Yeah, get the soldering on
We actually
out.
like some of the branding.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Some of it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Like you're the gallery, and I do want you to be proud of the work on you. I never want anyone to regret a tattoo that they got from me.
No.
So I always want you to love it as much as I have put into it, you know. So remember that. Most artists will feel the same, I believe. Daz said his tattoo bled heaps and he wondered why. Drunk. Now, see, no, it's true. Drunk people bleed so much.
Yep.
And you can actually smell the alcohol on their blood. You know, there reaches a point when you're tattooing someone and they bleed a lot.
Yep.
You can smell their blood. And I often say that I can smell your blood because it's got this weird smell, blood does. And if they bleed enough, you can actually smell it. And if they're drunk, you can smell the alcohol and you know it. I used to have a customer.
Yeah.
He didn't have a nickname as much as he had a signal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say, who's my appointment for? And everyone would go, I knew instantly who it was. Okay. Can you tattoo over my rash?
Oh, what do you want me to... No.
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 No. Apart from that, I don't want to see your rash.
No.
If you've got a rash, can you kindly leave the tattoo studio until it's all been cleared up and okayed by a professional in case you're spreading that shit all over here? Thank you.
Yeah. No. We've got to remember, any blemishes on your skin, if they get the ink in it, then you've got some fucked up tattoo with the gravel rash logo in it. So
it's true. Yeah, exactly. Hi, Cameron Barnes. Nice to see you. Cameron said he wanted one since he was 18, 13 years later, still waiting. And that's okay time to wait. Some people wait a very long time. And apart from that, they're expensive. So the longer you wait, the chances are you're going to make a good choice. And you'll be able to save up for the tattoo that you actually want instead of the tattoo that you can afford.
Yep.
So, g'day Survival Man 343. Nice to see you here. Okay, Kynan says, have you ever had someone's parent come in after they got a tattoo because they were happy or weren't happy? We wouldn't tattoo someone under 18. So I'm not sure. I haven't had any angry parents. I've had angry wives.
Yeah, no.
Didn't you have an angry boyfriend once come in? Or was that me? I don't know. No, not parents.
No,
I've never had an angry parent.
No. Well, I have had the parent who came in and said, can my daughter get a tattoo? I'm giving
We've had a
permission.
lot. Yeah.
You know, but I haven't had the other way around.
No, exactly. Simon wants to know if you tattoo a middle-aged fat guy, you're our main clientele. That's everyone. You're just being self-depreciating there, Simon. Just get back on the horse and do it. Okay. Can you change the design while the tattoo is in progress? Minimally.
To a point.
Minimally.
You know, if I've got 3 squiggles there, then but if I've got 3 squiggles left...
If you've got the whole out... Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of variables on that one. Yeah. Let's try and avoid that. That's why we don't do the walk-ins and that. Just, are tattoos safe?
Done from a nice clean studio and not someone's
by a knowledgeable
kitchen
artist.
or bathroom. Yeah,
knowledgeable artists. Yeah, indeed. Had any angry customers come in with regrets? No, I don't. No, I don't think so. We've had angry customers, but not because of the quality of work.
No, and if you're asking about cover-ups, then people come in and go, "Oh, I got this when." I did this or did
angry
that,
at the other shop. Yeah, exactly.
And,
that's much more likely.
Cover something up, but...
That's much likely. Yeah. Is it okay to get a tattoo if I'm sick?
No, wait till you're healthy. That way your tattoo will heal better.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah. Is tanning in a tanning bed okay when you have tattoos?
Well, no, it's going to fade the fuck out of them.
Yeah, exactly. Language.
Yeah, my apologies.
I could take him anywhere twice, the second time to apologise. It's all right. I think I've dropped F-bombs here before. the more sun that your skin is exposed to, the lower and lower in the like epidermis and dermis that pigment will sit. So the more you build up that skin on the outside, the lower and lower the pigment sinks, which means there's more skin in front of the actual raw pigment, making it sort of cloudier and they look like they've spread and they're more difficult to see. So it's not recommended. Go get a fake tan. Fake tan's okay.
Yep.
But yeah, always use sunscreen if you've got tattoos. In fact, you should always use sunscreen anyway, but especially if you've got tattoos. Yep. And if you've got a new tattoo, you are going to want to keep that out of the sun while it's healing, because that is going to feel like getting in a hot bath when you're sunburnt all over.
And you don't want to put anything but what you use in your aftercare. You don't want to put sunscreen on your
No, exactly.
Your
you don't want any sort of cream on your tattoo except for what your tattoo artist
have a couple
said.
of days covered up, and then when it's healed, go out and smash it. Shirts out, sun's out, guns out. You know.
Yep. Sounds good. Okay, my friend just bought a tattoo kit and wants to practice on me.
Good luck with that, mate.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Your friend can practice on themselves.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And you shouldn't even be doing that.
Yep.
Okay. Don't do it. Has anyone got any more tattoo questions? That is actually the end of our list. So if you've got any tattoo questions, now is the time to ask. It was very nice of you to come join me today.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Well, you sprung it on me.
I did because I had no idea what I was going to stream today.
Yep.
And I thought, oh, you know what? We haven't talked about tattoos for a minute. So I thought, well, Pashy's so jealous today.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm actually sitting on Pashy's bed, so. Sorry, Pash. I got a different friend with me today. Oh, did you see that face he gave me? Oh, Pashy. Oh, here he comes. Come on, lovey. He's a good boy. What's your favourite place and least favourite place to tattoo? Go on, JP.
Favourite place to tattoo? Back of the calf.
Yeah, that was mine.
Yeah.
You stole mine. Back of the calf. It's already stretched like a drum. It's
and
great.
Least favourite? Back of the neck.
Do you? I don't like boobs.
Yeah, but they're not wrinkled, you know what I mean?
I understand. Back of the neck on an older person who's been out in the sun a lot is really, really hard.
Yeah.
Like some of those bushies we used to get come out from Chartered Towers
Yeah,
way.
been wearing a singlet their
Exactly,
whole
to
life.
get a tattoo like Longhorn or something on their neck was really hard to get that skin stretched, and the pigment to stay was really, really hard. So, okay, cameraman said he came in late. What is the average cost? Well, that varies from artist to artist and studio to studio. Here in Australia, it's anywhere from, say, maybe about 120 an hour to all the way up, plus probably up to 300 now for some folk, I guess.
Yep.
So I don't know. That does vary. You'd have to, all depends on the actual artist within the studio. Not every artist will have the same hourly rate either.
Yep.
So it all depends on who you've chosen. Daz said, what is the longest time it's taken to do a tattoo, Lauren? I did that big back piece, the side panel session. What was that, 6 hours? Was
7.
that 6 hours? 7 hours tattooing is the longest I've done. And, a long way with it, but I mean, I've got a 6.5 hour outline on my back, but I'd say about 7 hours is good. Most people's limit is about 4. 6 is good. 7 is insanely good at sitting for tattoos. So usually about 4 is where people have reached their limit.
And it depends too, like that was the outline of a bodysuit.
It was 2 side panels.
Whereas if someone was getting 7 hours of Magnum shading done...
Oh, you could probably sit there for a lot longer. Exactly. That's 7 hours outline.
Yeah.
So that's an outline hurts more than the shading generally. It's got to do with like needle distribution, like sitting on a bed of nails. One nail will go through, but a whole chunk of nails it's got to do with the distribution on the skin. Okay. Kynan has said, is it harder to do colour or black and white?
Well, if you can put your colours in solid, then it's about the same.
It is about the same.
Yeah.
They've both got pros and cons.
If you're not real good at putting your colours in solid, then
Yeah.
you're going to end up chopping
Well,
them up, and
vice versa. If you're not very good at your grayscale,
you'll end up with a big black blob.
you're going to end up with a blob. So it depends on the artist, I think, you know.
Yeah.
So that's good. Simon Powell said there should be a law against tattooing boobs. Boobs are great and they don't need colouring in.
Yeah.
Well, some ladies like to decorate their boobs,
Yeah.
and that's just fine. But they should be aware that it is a really hard place to tattoo, because you've kind of really got to grab it and stretch it and pin it down.
Which is why you look at a lot of those...
And they jiggle a lot.
The chest pieces are basically up here.
Above the bosom.
Not actually on the breast.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. You know, mind you, when I first started, getting the old bluebird or roses on the boob was pretty popular.
Yeah.
But they jiggle a lot.
Yeah.
Even little boobs jiggle
Yeah.
a lot. And
Yeah.
there's like there's no like frame, like
it's
the
like
bones that you can...
Yeah, a water balloon, you know, it just wobbles all over the place.
Exactly, and you've got to try and hold it still. It makes it very difficult. Yep. Exactly. All right, well, if you guys haven't got anything else, I think we should thank JP for joining us today.
Thank you, and thank you.
It's a special treat. I hope you all enjoyed it. I like your T-shirt.
Yeah.
He's a man of few words.
Just throwing a shout out there to Kaz if you're there.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, he's a man of few words, but we were lucky to get a few out of him today. Thank you for your great questions. Thank you all for joining us. And I should be streaming tomorrow. I just don't know what time. So until then, please leave a thumbs up below the screen. Subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to ding my little bell for notifications of all my future uploads. And maybe, JP, you will come back and join us again one day. That would be
2
great.
thumbs up.
Yeah,
Or
awesome.
3 to piss off Kaz.
3.
Yeah.
Carl's not here. Carl invented that. It's the greatest thing ever. Okay, we'll see you all later. Okay, love and kisses.